A builder comes up with a project, 100 apartments, each costing 50 lakhs. You invest your life savings in one apartment, and after selling all the apartments, the builder has 50 crores, whereas you have zero balance in your bank account. Now, when a person has 50 crores in his bank balance, what do you think he would do? He might want to buy an expensive car, expensive clothes, travel abroad for a holiday, live in a five-star hotel, live a lavish lifestyle with your money. So what happens to your apartment? That is where you need to be careful. Has the builder built your apartment as per the promises made in the brochure? Or has he cut corners to pay for his lavish lifestyle with your money? The next thing you need to look out for is the building plans. It's important for any buyer to get the building plans. The building plans are very important because you need to know about the electrical wiring, the plumbing lines, how each equipment works, the operations manual. So that's why the building plans are very important for running the day-to-day operations of the complex. Not only are they important for your records, they are also important when it comes to future plans. For example, if you plan to add something to your complex or make some changes to the structure, the local civic body will insist on checking the sanction plan before giving you permission to carry out any alteration. Hence, make sure that you have the building plans in a soft copy. In our case, the builder handed over the building plan to our facility management team. Now what happened is the facility management team refused to share this building plan with us. They dragged the issue for several months. At the same time, the facility management team wanted us to renew their contract. Now I already told you that these contracts may not be favorable to the buyers, but with the building plans in the hands of the facility management team, we didn't have much room to negotiate. That's why it's very important that you get your building plans, preferably in a soft copy. Once a project is completed, the builder starts handing over the various facilities to the buyers. So they'll first hand over the apartments, then they will hand over the clubhouse, swimming pool, the sewage treatment plant, the water treatment plant, the landscaping and other facilities. So at the time of handing over these facilities, the builder will ask members of the managing committee to sign off on these assets. What this means is that you have to say that you have to sign that this asset has been handed over to the buyer in proper condition. Now this is where you have to be very careful. Before signing off on any asset, please check these assets, whether these assets exist, whether they have been built as per specifications, as per what was promised in the brochure, are they in working condition, has the builder handed over the operations manual. All these things are very important to the buyer. Eventually you have to run this facility and you need operations manual, building plans. The signing off on assets is very important, especially when it comes to the difference between what is promised in the brochure and what is actually given to the buyer. If at some point you realize that the builder has not fulfilled one of his promises and you take the builder to court, the builder might come back to you showing a letter signed by a member of the managing committee saying that this asset has been handed over to the buyer. At that point, your case will become weak. That is why it's very important that you check every facility before signing off on the asset, and also take a copy of the document that you have signed. Builders are very careless with these things. They will just tell you to sign off on documents and not give you a copy of those documents. Once the project is completed and handed over to the managing committee, all the assets become the responsibility of the managing committee. But you'll often see that the builder will continue to sell unsold parking slots. Now, this is where you have to intervene. When the builder hands over the property to the managing committee, he hands over all assets to the managing committee, including the parking slots. So you need to check if all the parking slots have been created and created in the right place and as per the sanctioned plan. Once you have got control of these assets, they become your responsibility, like everything else. For example, if there's some problem in the lift or in the STP or the WTP, would the builder pay from his pocket to repair those? No. Then why would the builder want to keep control of the parking slots? Now, a builder is very likely to claim that they are well within their right to do so. That may be the case. But then, if you're keeping that space in your control, then you should also pay the maintenance amount for that space. As a buyer, you're paying maintenance amount for your space, for your apartment. Wouldn't the same apply to the builder? According to me, once the building has been handed over to the managing committee, the unsold parking slots become the assets of the association. The association can sell these unsold parking slots to the residents or give them on rent to residents. In an apartment complex, it's very likely that the local civic body will insist that your apartment complex have a separate electrical connection and a separate water line. A builder will collect a separate fee for electricity and a separate fee for a separate water line. Now, here you need to be careful. You need to check if you actually have a separate water line. What happens is a builder collects money from a buyer for a separate water line, but eventually he gives you a connection from an existing line. So he would have taken a premium from you for a separate water line while giving you supply from the regular line. In our case, what happened is the builder took money in the name of a separate water line. After collecting all the money, he then filed a case against the civic body challenging the fee sought by the civic body. So as a result, we did not get water from the civic body. So we had to buy tanker water. Now look at the situation from the point of view of money. The builder has taken money from the buyer, but the buyers don't get water. In addition, the buyers have to buy tanker water. Now, the court case can go on for several years. So until then, the builder gets to keep the money, whereas the buyers continue to pay for tanker water. So the builder enjoys, so while the case is in court, the builder can do whatever he wants with that money. So these are the small little ways in which builders try to rip you off. No one is perfect. No human being is perfect. No builder is perfect. No workman. Every building would have some defect, some problem. It is not unusual. It is inevitable. But what happens is that a builder refuses to repair those defects so that he can save some money. Some buyers might call the builder continuously, complaining about the problems, about the defects. Now my advice is, do not call a builder with your problems. Write to a builder in an email with photos and videos. This is very important if a builder is trying to avoid carrying out the repairs. Now what happens is, you might call the builder continuously for several years. The builder might promise to do the work but not actually do the work. So he will continue to promise. You will be living in hope. After several years, once you're convinced that the builder has no intention of actually carrying out the repairs, you might take the matter to court. At that point, the builder might claim that the matter was never reported to you. If you're going to say that you have made several phone calls to the builder, that may not actually be a good record of your complaint. Now comes the tricky part. The builder might claim that the problem was reported after the defect liability period. At that point, you would be wondering, what is this defect liability period? So what happens is when you purchase any product, a mobile phone, a car, a fridge, you get a warranty. The manufacturer promises to replace the product in case of a manufacturing defect within the warranty period. Same applies to a builder, and it's called a defect liability period. It would be there in your sale lead. Even if it's not there in your sale lead, it's not a problem. What is important is that you maintain a record of the problems in your building in writing. These records are best maintained in the form of a video or a photograph, and these problems must be reported to the builder at the earliest by email. An email is a much better record of a timestamp as compared to a phone call. Earlier in this video, I told you that I'm not a big fan of taking a builder to court. Why would I say that? The rules governing real estate are actually made by builders. Now, you might be under the impression that rules are made by the government, but actually what happens is most builders are hand in glove with politicians. Most politicians have a stake in real estate. So it would be naive of you to expect a government to make rules that favor a buyer. And even if some rules favor a buyer, it is very unlikely that any government will enforce them. If you go to court, and even if you get a favorable ruling, you would still need the help of officials and the government to enforce that court ruling. What are the chances that an official and a politician would help you? Let me put this in terms of money. When you purchase an apartment, you would hand over your life savings to a builder. So the builder has your money. You have zero balance in your account. On the other hand, the bank balance of the builder would be massive, 50 crore, 100 crore, 1000 crore, I don't know. So why would anyone want to help you? Who would people want to help? Who would officials want to help? If you take my advice, I will save you a lot of time, money, and frustration. So does that mean that a buyer can't do anything if he's cheated by an unscrupulous builder? That's not what I'm saying. You can get a builder to fulfill all his promises and give you everything that was promised in the brochure.